Gotta click that button right there. There we go. Whee! Oh, that's not good. Huh. That's not a good sign. Hello everybody, can you hear me? I'm getting a weird message in my YouTube studio. It's very odd. It says an error occurred. Please try again later. That's not good. You can? Sweet. Alright, cool. Well, if you guys can hear me, that's all that matters. I'm going to spam some people, and we're going to call it a day. I mean, we're not going to call it a day. We're going to spam some people, and then we're going to start. So, stand by. Videos and streams. Alright. Hello. What am I? Go. That right there. My cats are bugging me already. All right, beautiful. Let's go throw something on Twitter. That's a good place to spam. Huh, there's some interesting stuff on Twitter. We might take a look at Twitter. We might just look at Twitter for a second here. let me do my spam and then all right, there we go. Huh. What is this? Oh, I have to go look at Twitter stuff now. All right, I did the two spammy things. Okay, cool. Let's go over here. Oh, where is this? Ah! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream. Tonight we're just hanging out, doing a little bit of Q&A. I'm joined by my co-streamer Squeaky, who has arrived just in time to join in on the fun. He will be gnawing on my arm throughout the stream. You will see. This is what he will do. He will sit right here, and he will chew on me most of the stream, and I will yell at him, and he will not care. He will still chew on my arm. So, Q&A tonight, you're asking questions, I'll answer, we'll just hang out, we'll talk and stuff, all that kind of good jazz. And but he cannot chew on my watch. You will not chew on the watch. Don't ignore me. That's right. Okay, so, before we jump in, we have a giveaway going on tonight, so there should be, hopefully we can get a giveaway link in the chat. And that would be great. It's also on a timer, so every so often it'll jump up. But join the giveaway. We're giving away 3 months membership to the DM Lair Patreon, where you get Lair magazine every single month and a whole bunch of map packs and other cool crap you can use in your Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder 2 games, and you can probably adapt it to other RPG systems that you're running to. The maps are universally helpful. You can always use maps in your games. That's obvious. So yeah, well, we'll draw the winner of the giveaway at the end of the live stream tonight, and we'll hook you up with some cool crap. What else are we doing? We got the giveaway. What else am I supposed to talk about? I think that's it. I think that's all I'm supposed to do. So we can probably do the Q&A now. I swear, you know, I usually make a list. I usually have a list of all my plugs, and now I'm forgetting them all. So anyway, that's what we get. That's what we get for not being prepared. All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Who's in here? Rachel's here. Hello, Rachel. Good to see you again. Got Subcycle in the house. Goliath Cleric, what's up, guys? Eric Bickford, what up, dude? Dicequake. Marson, hello, dude. TTT. The triple T. It's much easier to say triple T. Nathan Anderson, hello. You're DMing your first campaign a week from today. Super excited, a little nervous. Cool. That's awesome. A week from today, dude. What do you got going on? Like, Is it D&D? Is it a different game system? And you're always gonna be a little nervous, but you know, just have fun. That's the important thing, and just start doing it, and then you know, eventually you get better and better at it, and then you don't. Well, I don't know. Some people still feel nervous. Even veterans feel nervous. Some people don't. Some people just never get nervous. Some others, no matter how much they've done it, they always have a little bit of nerves going on. So everybody's a little different, you know. But I wouldn't worry about it too much, dude. It's all good. You'll be fine. Michael Boreal, hello, dude. What up? HC Magic, Nookie DM here. What is a Nookie DM? Okay, hold on a second. We are going to do a Google search on Nookie DM. I hope this does not give me a bad search result. Nookie DM. What does that mean? Nookie. What does Nookie mean? I gotta do a different Google search. What does Nookie mean? In German? It means something in German. Oh, that's bad. That's very bad, guys. That was bad. Okay, now I understand. Now I know what that means. That's slang for bad stuff. Well, there we go. So you're a Nookie DM. Woo! I don't know what that means. I don't know how that adjective applies to Dungeon Master, but all right. Rookie. Oh, rookie. Oh, geez. Rookie. I know what rookie means. And I also now know what Nookie means. I know what both mean. And rookie makes a lot more sense in the context. I mean, Tiger, I had to Google Nookie. Like, I don't know what it means. What am I going to do? Like, phone a friend? No, I'm going to go to Google. Call my mom. Hey, Mom. My mom's not going to know. All right. It means something in German, too, apparently. Yes, Rachel, that's correct. It cannot be a live stream of mine without the kitty here. He's here I think he's here every live stream now. This is pretty much his permanent installment. Every live stream he comes and sits here. It's totally the thing that he does. Yeah. Genokira says, hey, I'm new to DMing and thank you very much for being my way to learn how to DM. You are very welcome. I'm happy to help. It's literally why I've been making videos for like 5 or 6 years now. It's literally to help game masters and especially new game masters who are trying to get into it because it's not easy and the books don't really tell you how to game master. They kind of try to do it, but it's really rough. And yes, you can kind of watch actual plays on YouTube and stuff, but that's not really how the game is played. Like, they're mostly emphasizing actual plays, usually emphasize talkie where everybody's just talking all the time. And like, my games don't look like that. Like, we have combat and we have exploration and then there's talking, social interaction and stuff. But I have a lot of combat in my games because that's like, dude, 90% of the books are full of rules about combat. That's a big part of the game. And so you don't really, there's a lot of stuff you can't learn by watching actual plays online. Now, normal actual plays, the ones where they're putting on a show are the ones that aren't real. Like, in the sense that that's not how most games are probably played. But the ones that you can watch actual plays where they're literally just playing the game, you know, and it's like they're just got a camera rolling or something. Like, I record all of our Pathfinder 2 games for folks to watch, and that's on my other channel, the DM Lair streams. So you can actually, I have our Curse of Strahd games for 5th edition are over there. You can watch those. I have some one-shots that I've ran for people over on the DM Lair Plays, my other YouTube channel, and then obviously all my Pathfinder 2 games and stuff. So there's a whole bunch of like real games where we're not putting on a performance. We're not trying to become the next popular D&D show on Twitch or something. We're not trying to do that. We're just playing the game. So if you watch those sorts of games, then yeah, you can get a good idea of like kind of what goes on behind. Well, you get to see what goes on in front of the scene. You don't get to see what goes on behind the scene for the game master, like before the game starts, and like what's going through their brain and what they're thinking and how they plan and prepare things. You know, this is little guy right here. This is little guy. He's coming up here too. I gave you guys food. a little bit ago. There's no reason for you to be begging me for food. There's no reason at all, except that you're jealous. Little turd. You see, he's biting me now. Now he's beginning to bite me. All right. Limp Bizkit had a song named Nookie, okay, sweet. MZ Desmond said, ah, Luke's a sweet, sweet summer child. Or used to be until about 2 minutes ago. I just don't, I'm not really exposed to all of that kind of stuff, guys. I don't live my life that way. So I'm ignorant to the dirty underbelly of certain things. MC Tasman says, question, review of the 2024 DMG are good. Will you be getting it? I literally have it. I have it now. Apparently they fixed a lot of the issues with the 5e DMG. Oh no, I don't have the Dungeon Master Guide. I'm sorry, I don't have the Dungeon Master Guide. I have the player handbook. I don't have the Dungeon Master Guide. It'll get here whenever it gets here. Like I bought the things off from D&D Beyond or whatever. So I might actually have it on D&D Beyond. But I don't look at crap on D&D Beyond. I don't like digital bullcrap. Like a PDF is different. I like PDFs. PDFs of the books, I will actually use those. But D&D Beyond is just, it's not made to be read. And it's not even really good for referencing stuff. The real benefit of D&D Beyond is probably just creating your characters on there. That's really the best use of it that I've found. But like, I don't want to read the... You gotta calm down. Don't bite that hard. I'm gonna whack you, you big turd. That's right, you walk away. Yeah. I don't like reading that crap on D&D Beyond. It's just not, ugh. I want a physical book or a PDF. I take a PDF. PDFs are acceptable, but I don't like the way they have it. It's not useful to me. Anyway, whatever. That's it. Nobody cares. So the Dungeon Master Guide will get here when it gets here. Whenever normal people get it is when I'll get it. I don't get stuff early. They won't talk to me. They don't like me. So I'm not in the cool group of people who get stuff early from Wizards. So I'll get it when I get it. And once I get it, then I will have some fun. We will see if things were improved, if they weren't improved. I mean, the story I haven't looked at the player handbook, but people I've talked to have told me that there's a whole lot of stuff that was broken was fixed. Other things that weren't broken were broken. And then there was a whole lot of stuff, like mostly a lot of spells that were broken, that weren't touched, that were left as is. So it was kind of like a hodgepodge of some things got better, some things got worse, and some things stayed the same that should have been fixed, which, I mean, what are you going to do when you have, there's only so many people on the development team. They had a hard deadline that they were marching to because, Hasbro and Wizards gets the books out for the 50th anniversary, which they still are missing. The Monster Manual is not coming out in the 50th anniversary year. So they had a hard deadline, which got totally shot. And so it's what we call a death march in a way, like you have a fixed deadline. The scope is fixed. So what's going to suffer? It's got to be quality. Quality suffers every single time. This is what, when you have, bosses who have fixed deadline, fixed scope, quality will always suffer. It's a triangle. That's the only way it works, Now, if you change the scope, then you might have a better quality, or if you loosen the deadline. The other thing too is that they had massive layoffs too last year, so they lost a whole bunch of people on the team. So now you have fixed deadline, fixed scope, and you're losing a bunch of people on your team. And don't forget too, it's not just that they fired a bunch of people, but the morale, right? Morale is incredible as far as productivity goes. When you have like really low morale, your productivity is going to suffer. So if you got a team who's got too few people working on it, too much to do, crazy deadlines, and then people are getting fired, and then you have low morale, right? And then they don't feel super motivated because their friends just got fired, right before Christmas, by the way. And then, they're all wondering, am I going to get fired? Am I going to be the next one to get fired? Right? And there's going to be, we have to see, has Wizard done their big firings yet? Hasbro and stuff? Because I had Professor Dungeon Master on the stream last week, and we were looking at Hasbro's third quarter finances. And he and I are pretty convinced that there has to be another round of firings. Well, they did though. They laid off Hasbro laid off about 100 people or so from their, it's either Rhode Island or Massachusetts office, wherever they're based. They laid off about 100 people. But he and I are pretty sure that they're going to have to do another round. Not like last year, but it's got to be coming. It has to be coming. So we're convinced of that. So the thing is when you're working in a work environment where people keep getting laid off, you know, and you got crazy amounts of work, and then people get laid off, and you're expected to still get the same amount of work done, quality will suffer, morale is down. You know what I mean? And then politics starts happening a lot. You know, you have to like protect your own job, so you start playing politics, you know, and maybe ratting other people out, and then the work environment. I don't know. You get this. The work environment can just become very nasty when everybody's like doesn't want to lose their job, you know. And I would be willing to bet that a lot of people that work there, it's like their dream job, right? They love that crap. Like who gets to basically design games for a living, you know? Now it's not all fun and games. Trust me, Zach can tell you, I can tell you, there's a ton of work that you don't want to do. But still, it beats factory work or something. I've done that. I've been in the factory on the line, taking parts off a conveyor, putting it into a bin that has to go onto a truck. I've been the forklift driver loading trucks and crap, and I'm not very good on a fork truck. I did not like that, you know. So I mean, I've done that stuff. Like that's not super fun. I still have carpal tunnel in this arm, this hand right here, and I have to sleep with a brace on every night. Otherwise, my wrist will fall asleep. It's from taking parts off they had like a little trolley that would come with like parts hanging from it. So they would stamp the parts, and then it would go through a shot blast that would take off like an outer layer, and it would come around on a trolley. And my job for like a year or something, I don't know, it was a while, it was too long, was to take the parts off from that thing and put it into a metal bin. And you know, that was my job. And I just all day long just grabbing parts, bending over, putting them in a bin, you know. So I mean, anyway, so being a game designer is not all fun and stuff, but it's better than that, which I did for a while, you know, and I'm still have like my hand is all messed up from it and stuff. So, but anyway, these guys are probably like, it's like, you know, it's probably like their dream job, something that they love doing and they want to do. So like when people are getting fired and crap, they don't want to be the next one. So I can only imagine what like the morale and the work environment is, you know, in that type of place when you're just every day you're worried about losing your job. And right now, as holidays are coming up, I guarantee you they're even more worried about losing their jobs because they know Hasbro is going to do a Christmas firing again to some extent. Not as big as last year probably, but they're going to do a Christmas firing. You know, they pretty much have to. The third quarter results were not good. It was not good at all. So anyway, I don't know how we got on that topic. We were talking about the books and how some of the things in the books weren't really fixed, you know? So, I mean, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt, you know? It's like, I don't want to slam them too hard because, you know, when you have these fixed deadlines and people are getting laid off and fired and stuff, it's like you can only do so much. So to a certain extent, you can't blame the people on the front lines working. There's a large part of it that is management's responsibility and corporate's responsibility and their fault, you know, for just firing a bunch of people and expecting them to get the same amount of work done. So anyway, it doesn't surprise me that things aren't like perfect, right? Not that it'll ever be perfect. I just want to reach through the screen and give that cat a little squeeze. All right, Squeaky, come here. We got to squeeze you. Come here. What? Yeah, come here. We got to squeeze you. Oh, he's I'm not going to hurt you, you big baby. There, I gave him a fluffing. I got to get some coffee. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Well, why weren't you talking to the live stream? I forgot my big mug. Usually I have this big wooden mug. I forgot it. It's upstairs. So you get my Dundler Mifflin mug. Does anybody else like The Office? Who likes The Office? That is one of my favorite shows. This is my The Office, and then the other side of it says Dunder Mifflin Employee of the Month, Scranton Branch. The interesting thing about The Office is that I watched The Office, right? And you're watching this and you hate Michael. Michael is such a, like, oh, he's like this turd of a boss in like a weird, like, your brain is messed up way. Not like you're mean to people. Well, he is mean to people sometimes. But anyway, the thing is you're watching The Office season after season and you're like, oh, Michael, I don't like him. In a way, you know, like this kind of soft dislike, you know, not like hard, but a soft dislike, you know. But then, there's gonna be spoilers here, but this series is like 15 years old. So if you can't handle spoilers on a 15-year-old movie or TV series, then I'm sorry. Just, you know, punch me at a convention or something. I don't know. So for like it was after like I don't know how many seasons, Michael finally left, you know, and he wasn't on the show anymore. And at first when he left, you're like, yeah, but then you're like, wait a second, this doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. Like, it's just not the same. The chemistry, you didn't like him, but he brought a chemistry to that show that was necessary, right? And then when he was gone, there was no chemistry anymore. And it was kind of like, it wasn't bad, but it was just kind of like, you know? So now another series that did the same thing is Suits. Does anybody watch Suits? It's like a lawyer show. It's really well produced. And amazingly, somehow, for the first like 7 seasons, they didn't say the F word at all. They never said the F word, which is shocking. But then all of a sudden they started doing it, and it just was really annoying to me. We finally got a series where they wouldn't just drop F-bombs all the time, and then after about 7 seasons, they're like, yeah, no, it's okay, let's do it now. I don't know why they did that, but anyway, Suits was very good. But then one of the main characters left. It was like there were like 7 seasons or something, and then two of the main characters, they left. They're just gone. And they did an 8th season, and the 8th season was just very, very meh. Like, one of the main characters, I did not like her. She was a piece of work. I was happy to see her go. All she did was like just illogical drama, getting upset over things that don't need to be upset over. But the other character that left, like, he was actually like really integral to everything. So, but anyway, the chemistry was gone. So the 8th season was kind of like, not that good. And they probably all knew it was dying. And then there was like one more season 9, I believe. And then it was all over. And that's probably the last one. So. You saw the red stapler? What red stapler? It's nearing midnight here, and the boss man wants me to be active tomorrow, so I'm off. All right, bye, MC Tasman. Have a good one, dude. Suits was really good. It was well produced. Yeah. This stream reminded me to go get my Patreon rewards for the last couple of months. Yeah, go download them, man. Oh, we have a super chat. Hey, HC Magic, thank you for super chat. Are there any 1 to 4 level adventures from DM Guild that you recommend for a new DM? I'm not familiar with the DM's Guild, but I can show you adventures you can get on my site that I would recommend for you. So, you know, it's quasi sleazy plug, but you asked, so I'm just gonna show you. So let's go over to my site, thedmlair.com, and I'll show you what we got over there. So you go up to shop here, and then the first thing I probably recommend the most is Into the Fae. Now it's an adventure module, so it does have a series of adventures, but they go from level 1 up to level 4, and then if you get through the whole thing, you're level 5 by the time it's done. So I wrote this myself personally. It definitely could be used. What was the question? Was it specifically for a new DM? This is absolutely new DM friendly. One of the things I do when we write our adventures in general at the DM Lair, but it's something I introduced and that I'm very like, we have to do it this way, is I make sure that our adventures are very easy to use. They're very easy to prep. to read through, get the main ideas and stuff. And then they're also very easy to use at the game table and reference and find what you need. Everything has read aloud text. The way we do like the organization of the text with little bolding and different paragraphs for if there's a chest, it has its own paragraph with the contents. If there are cabinets, they have their own paragraph. You know, if there is a secret door, it has its own little paragraph with bolded text that says secret door. So you can find stuff very easily. One of the things that annoys the crap out of me about a lot of the official published stuff, or just maybe it's not official stuff, I don't know, is that you get these big blocks of text that you can't find what you're looking for during a game. And so you gotta like take extensive notes or something, which is horse crap. You should be able to reference the adventure book during gameplay and find what you need. And so that's one of the things that I used to be a technical writer. I spent 10 years at a company as a technical writer, which if you ever do tech writing or you know tech writers, communication and clear communication is super, super important for us. It's like what we do. And so when I decided like our style guide and how we write our adventures, I was like, we need to make sure we are communicating very clearly to dungeon masters the information they need to run these games, and then we need to make it so it's easily accessible so that during the game they can actually get what they need quickly and use it. Because you may have been in games before, or you've seen other dungeon masters where they have a module, they're running something like Curse of Strahd or something, and they're flipping through and they're trying to find something and they can't find it, and it's like, I don't know where it is. Or there's a big massive block of text and they're trying to parse through it all because it gives you all the information there. So yeah, anyway, I would recommend this. We also have, if you go over to where is it, if you do adventures for 5th edition and PF2, we have these adventure bundles right here, and you want level 1 to 4. Well, we have these adventure bundles, and this one right here, if you get the adventure bundle number 1, this one, these are designed as one shots, so it's not like a module that all goes in one shot. But these right here, you know, it's got low level adventures. So Demons Below, some of these, now one of the things that I did for some of my early adventures is I designed them so they could be used for a variety of different levels. You literally just include different number of monsters or different monster types depending upon the level of your players. And so I have some of these have ranges that they'll actually work for as well. So Adventure Bundle number 1. Now the Adventure Bundles, these are just PDFs. So any of these that you get are just pure PDFs. These have some lower levels, but not as many. Now, the good thing about Into the Fae is you can get both the PDF and the book. Like this one right here, this is the hardcover. This one comes with the hardcover and the digital one, or you can just get the digital one, which is just the PDFs. Well, actually, this comes with the PDFs and all the maps you need too, and the tokens. So you get the PDF, you get all of the maps, like the image files of the maps. What do you call those things? The JPEGs of the maps. So you can put them in your virtual tabletop, you know, and then it comes with the tokens that you can use in your virtual tabletops. So whether you're playing in person and you use the book, or whether you're playing online, this has everything you need for that. So, and this is designed as a module from level 1 to 5, but you could take the individual adventures and break them out and run ones as one shots if you want. It takes a little bit of finagling, you know, to do it, but you can make it work. So I would recommend those routes if you're looking for some new DM friendly adventures. I just don't know things on DM Guild to be able to recommend anything, you know. And honestly, just to be totally frank with you, even if I did, I'd probably still recommend my products because I make my products. I really believe that they're awesome. So why wouldn't I recommend my own stuff? So, I mean, if you make something and you like it, you would probably want to recommend it to people, right? If you make something and you think it sucks, you know, then maybe you don't recommend it. I don't know. But if you believe in what you do, then you should talk about it, is my opinion. So. Oh, the guys are talking about Layers and Legends, loot and lore. Somebody said loot and lore in the chat. That's true. Okay, now I'm getting, I gotta talk about that. Okay. So we have another thing too called, if you go to Layers and Legends, this one right here, there are 2 books that come with this. Layers and Legends is one, and then Loot and Lore. Now, Layers and Legends is an anthology of one-shots, essentially. And it has 29 one-shots. Yes, 29 5th edition one-shots. They go from level 1 to 25. And then that's Layers and Legends. And it has a bunch of monsters in it, too. It has over 100 monsters. correct? Yeah, over 100 monsters as well in Layers and Legends. And then Loot and Lore, that is a collection of Game Master resources like magic items, encounters, traps, puzzles, NPCs, adventure ideas. These are all things that are meant, you can just kind of drag and drop into your own adventure. Or you might be running an adventure from Layers and Legends and you're like, you know, this adventure needs a puzzle. And then you can go over to Loot and Lore and you can find a puzzle and you can just drag and drop it into an adventure from Layers and Legends and throw it somewhere, you know? So these two books are kind of meant to go hand in hand if you want to grab these. And we have hardcovers for these too. So this right here is the ultimate bundle. You get the hardcovers, the PDFs, and the map pack. And again, these map packs have all of the JPEG files you need for virtual tabletops. We have high res and low res, gridded and ungridded. You get the actual image files, and we don't put stupid watermarks or horse crap on them. We just give you the files. And then it has tokens for the monsters too. It has all that cool jazz that you need. So I would recommend this as well. This is a really solid product. This is the one that we sell a lot of these books. These books we sell a lot of them. So people apparently like them, which is good. I want to make good products that people like. All right. Oh, we got questions. Yay! More questions. If you have questions, please drop your questions in the chat. That is why I'm here. Okay. How would you go about creating puzzles in a D&D campaign? I'm running Dragons of Stormwreck Isle in a few days, and my friends asked for a few puzzles. If you didn't want to spend money, how'd you do it? Well, if you don't want to spend money to make puzzles, I will tell you, I have all these products, but if you go up here, there's a little button that says free resources. I also have a bunch of free stuff that I give people. So let me just zoom in a little bit. I think this might be a little too small. If you go up to free resources, the short answer to your question is that I don't like making puzzles myself. I'm not very good at it. So I usually try to take puzzles. A lot of the puzzles in my games come from like my products because I just steal them and use them. I don't fancy myself good at making puzzles. So I do them, but I don't like it, and I don't think I'm good at it. So I usually use other people's puzzles, which are the people I pay to write puzzles for us. So, but if you need them for free because you don't have money, and that's cool, go to the free resources, and then over here there's a tab called puzzles. Click that, and we have a bunch of puzzles here. We have an entire collection of puzzles. I don't know how many this is. There's about 20, maybe, no, probably 18 or so puzzles over here. And when you open these puzzles up, the puzzles, we have versions for both 5th edition and Pathfinder 2. And when you open these up, you literally just, the puzzle's here. Everything is here. It's completely here for you to use. And then the puzzles are mostly, the thing for a puzzle is mostly the same between 5th edition and Pathfinder 2. The only difference really are the hint checks, because that's when you have actual checks that are being made. So, but you know, it's all right here. So you can get free puzzles and stuff on here. Now, if you didn't want to just grab free puzzles off from here, that's cool too. You want to make your own. I don't know what to tell you, because I can make puzzles. I do make puzzles, but I don't know that I really have like a system that you can follow for making a puzzle. Usually for me, making a puzzle is just thinking about it, and I might come up with, I might be like, okay, I want a puzzle in this room. I want the puzzle to have something to do with the walls. Like there should be something on the walls. Okay, let's make it hieroglyphics. Okay, there are hieroglyphics on the walls. Okay, well, let's imagine there are 4 pedestals in the room, and each of these pedestals has a certain animal on top. This is an eagle, this is like a whale, this is a snake, and this is a frog. Okay, cool. And then there's hieroglyphics on the wall, and some of the hieroglyphics match these animals, others don't. And like, and I would just, at that point, I'm like, okay, this is kind of what the puzzle looks like, but it's not a puzzle yet, right? How do I make it a puzzle? And then you just kind of think about it, and you just figure out how I can make this a puzzle, right? And I don't have a system or a way to go about doing that. You just have to think about it, which I know is sucky advice, but it's all I got. But I will tell you this. The biggest problem that I personally have with puzzles is that puzzles never feel right. So here's what happens. I have players that like puzzles, And every few months I send out forms to get feedback from my players. And every so often I will get there'll be a player that's like, hey, I want more puzzles in the game. And I don't, obviously I don't like making puzzles, but I also think that puzzles don't make sense in most games, because think about it. Okay, so the bad guy had enough power or magic or whatever to create this very complex puzzle in this room with mechanical parts, moving parts, like magic and all. They had enough power and whatever to make this puzzle, right? So why would you make a puzzle like that? Why would you go to all the effort of making a puzzle that anyone could technically solve, when you could just have a 20th level wizard come in there and cast some spell on there that makes it absolutely impossible to go through unless you're that person or you have like a special medallion or something? I don't know. It just seems like puzzles usually serve to protect the way forward or protect access to something. Generally, that's kind of what puzzles tend to do in a very general sense. And so it's like, why would you go to all the effort of making a puzzle like that when you could just use magic or machinery or something to like, do we think about it? Bank vaults in our common age. Do bank vaults protect their valuables with puzzles? No, unless you consider a combination lock a puzzle, but it's not really a puzzle. Okay, we have keys and stuff. We have guards. Like, that's how we protect valuables. Like, who in the modern world, who makes puzzles to protect their valuables? Like, I have valuables in my house. I don't make complex. I have money. I could probably make some sort of puzzle to protect my front doors from being gotten through, but isn't it much easier to just have locks on them and like a metal bar across the back that can't be broken down, and like to have like firearms and stuff to protect? I mean, there are better ways to go about it than puzzles. So to me, puzzles have never really made sense in the game world. It's almost like, for me, like when I think of puzzles, a puzzle is just a very obvious attempt. It's just like, as game masters and game designers, we know that some players like puzzles, and so we put puzzles in the game for the players, but the puzzles never really make a whole lot of sense. Like, their existence doesn't make sense. If you're talking about the suspension of disbelief and the immersion and all that kind of crap, the verisimilitude and stuff, puzzles don't make a whole lot of sense unless very niche circumstances where you're replicating a civilization that's known to have, like, I don't know if this is true or not, but ancient Egypt and stuff, like Pharaoh's tombs and stuff like that, like, this might just be in the movies, right? But those might have puzzles. Like, we're talking Indiana Jones crap, right? I don't even know if that's historical or not. That might just be from the movies. But like, if it's actually historical and you're running your game world in that civilization and there's a real reason for that stuff, well then maybe, yeah. Like, there might be a cosmological reason, or like their pantheon of deities and stuff. There's a reason they do puzzles. Like, if there's a reason for it, then it kind of makes sense. But I think in a lot of ways, the existence of puzzles in games really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so, as a game, this is what annoys me, because here's the thing. I literally have players who are like, Luke, we want puzzles in these feedback surveys. And so I'm like, okay, I give you puzzles. And then I crap you not, this has happened to me. And then the next feedback survey I get is like, Luke, the puzzles don't seem to fit into the game world. They don't make a lot of sense. And I'm like, I know. The only reason you have puzzles is because you asked for them. But now you want them to, now you're telling me they don't like make sense and stuff, and they don't fit into the game world. So it's like, I don't know what to do at this point. So I don't like puzzles. And it's like, if you don't do the puzzles, player asks for them. And if you give them the puzzles, then they say that they don't fit into the game world. And it's like, I know they don't. So anyway, this is my rant on puzzles and why I don't like puzzles. But I answered your question, right? Oh, Goliath Cleric says it's 100% just in the movies. Okay, there you go. It's not even historical. It's not even historical. A lot of puzzles are either too easy or too hard. Well, Tiger Uppercut, the thing is, Tiger Uppercut, the problem with puzzles too is that not only you say they're too easy or too hard, but the difficulty of a puzzle is 100% subjective to your players at your game table. Some people are better at puzzles than others. A puzzle that is easy for one group is impossible for another group, right? We have a puzzle. There's one puzzle that we created for one of our publications that was based upon music and your knowledge of the different notes, like C sharp and flats. And I'm not a music guy, so I'm probably screwing this up. But it was based upon your knowledge of music, right? If you take that puzzle, like I used to run a D&D game for kids that were in band, right? Like every single one of them was in band. So if I took that puzzle and put it in the game with them, I guarantee you they would figure it out, right? But they're band kids. They know music. So, but if I take that same puzzle that kids, they're like 12, 13 years old, they would have figured it out. If I take that same puzzle that 13-year-olds could figure out, like probably like that, and I put that with adults who don't know anything about music notes or music theory or any of this stuff, the adults might just be like, Luke, this is impossible. We have no idea what's going on here. So like the puzzles you introduce are subjective, and this is subjective based upon your knowledge of real world information, in this case music. But there's other ways it can be subjective too, in that one puzzle is easy for one group and hard for another group, and so it's kind of hit and miss. They might not be able to figure it out, you know. So I had once I did a puzzle during a combat, and the players, the poor players were fighting the monsters, and they knew the puzzle was there, but they were mostly ignoring the puzzle. And the thing is that until they solved the puzzle, the monsters would keep on coming. There would be more and more waves. The waves of monsters would not stop until they solved the puzzle. But they weren't solving the puzzle. They were mostly just fighting the monsters. And I'm just like, these guys are going to TPK because they're ignoring the puzzle. And it's like, you have to, like, I count on my players metagaming to a certain extent. They need to make the assumption that, look, we're in the middle of a combat and Luke also gave us a puzzle. That means that we need to solve the puzzle while we fight. I expect them to use a certain amount of that sort of metagaming, you know, to be able to figure that kind of stuff out. And it's probably not even, it might be a little bit metagaming. It might not be too much metagaming, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. But they weren't solving the puzzle, and it was like, these guys are all going to die because they are ignoring the puzzle. But then I think we ended our game session, and I think they were probably discussing offline, and then they had determined that, no, we have to focus on this puzzle or we're going to die. And then they actually started solving it. I think I'm remembering that series of events correctly, but I could be a little bit off. But you're right, it is hard to solve puzzles when you're fighting for your life. You're right, it totally is. You know, but it made it way more interesting, and that was the intention. The other thing about puzzles too is that puzzles appeal to some people, but there are some people that hate puzzles. They don't like solving puzzles. Usually when I'm in a game and the game master introduces a puzzle, I don't like puzzles. I don't engage with them. Usually what I do is I just wait and hope somebody else solves it, and then I don't have to do anything. But I was in this one game, this is years ago. My friend Joe, who plays my Pathfinder 2 games, he was the game master, and he was running, we were playing D&D 5th edition, and he was running a puzzle in the group, and it was taking a while and nobody was figuring it out, and I wasn't even paying attention. I was just kind of like zoned out. Come on guys, get this done. I don't like puzzles. But then finally they weren't solving it, and I'm fairly smart, you know. I wasn't applying myself in the moment, and so then I started paying attention, and then I solved it, and we got through it, you know. Not that I'm like super special. I'm sure they would have figured it out eventually, but like what I'm saying is that I don't like puzzles, and the only reason I actually engaged with that part of the game was because it was taking too long, and I was like, I got to get this over with, and I got to help them, you know. So, and again, I'm not that I'm super special. It's just that I didn't care until I had to care because it was taking too long. So the other problem with puzzles is that a lot of people don't like puzzles, but you know, that can be said of any game element, right? Because some people don't like combat, some people don't like exploration, some people don't like talkie. So like there's a, you know, the trick then is to have that balance. Not too many puzzles, not too few. You have throw in a little bit here and there so that those who like them can be appeased a little bit, you know. But the other problem with puzzles is that, shoot, that puzzle could take an hour for them to solve. Jeez, you know, then they're really suffering if the people that don't like puzzles, you know. But of course some combats in D&D can last hours, so you know, maybe we'll just call it a day with that argument. What was my other thought on puzzles? I had another thought on puzzles too. We were talking about how they can take an hour or something, Oh yeah. Oh, I do have a tip about puzzles though. So puzzles. You do not want a puzzle to be a dead end if they can't solve it. For instance, if you have an adventure and you have a puzzle in the adventure, you must assume that it is a distinct possibility that your players will not be able to solve the puzzle. And if they can't solve the puzzle, there needs to be a way for them to keep adventuring. You don't want a puzzle to be a dead end. Like, if they can't solve it, it's game over. You cannot go any further in the adventure. So puzzles need to be optional, in other words. There needs to be another way to overcome that obstacle, right, than just solving the puzzle. It could be anything, right? It could be something else. It could just be, well, the puzzle protects the treasure vault, and you don't have to go into the treasure vault. It would be nice, but you don't have to go in there. And so it's not required to solve the puzzle. Although your players are going to probably murder you if they can't get that treasure. But that's your problem. You put a big hard puzzle on a treasure vault, and you should know better. I don't know. Actually, that's probably an appropriate place to have them. Is that an appropriate place to have a puzzle on a treasure vault? I would not put a puzzle on a treasure vault because anybody could solve this stupid thing. I would have very secure locks, probably magic, and a very difficult guardian watching over it. That's how I would protect a treasure vault. I would not put a puzzle on something important. You know, a puzzle that anybody can solve should not go on something important. That is a bad idea. Bad idea. You wanna have like a magical key, and you have to have that key, and you hold it. It's always on your person, you know, and they have to go through you to get that key. Like, there are a million ways I would guard something important that's not a puzzle. You know, it's like that's a bad idea. Oh, thank you. This is Squeaky. This right here is Squeaky. He's a big boy. Yeah. He chews on me. All right, there we go. Woo, fluffy bucket. All right, okay, I'm gonna go on more questions. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat. We'll answer some questions. I'm gonna scroll back in time. Plastic Fork, that's a very nice name. Plastic Fork. There's gotta be some story. There's gotta be a reason you chose Plastic Fork as your YouTube name. Like, that has gotta be an interesting story. What's your favorite monster or team made? My favorite monster? Oh geez, I don't know. I'm not good at favorite questions. Like, if you ask me what my favorite X is, I'm gonna struggle at that. I can do it in some instances. Oh, well, you know. Okay, I'll show you my favorite. I'll show you my most recent favorite monster that I made. I actually have an answer to your what's your favorite question. Wow. I am not sucking today quite as much as normal. All right, so I made this monster for my Pathfinder 2 games. I'm gonna show it to you. I gotta go find it first. I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna show it to you on the stream. So you gotta bear with me 10 seconds or 30 while I find it. I gotta dig through a whole bunch of folders, and this is for my Thieves Abound campaign, custom monsters. There we go. Okay. And then where is this thing? The Sanacyst. Let's open up this. Let's open up this guy right here. Is this the right? There we go. Okay, cool. I'm gonna share my screen with you. All right, so I made this for. Can you zoom out for me? Hey, how about you zoom out? Thank you. That's better. So, I am running a Pathfinder 2 game right now, and it is set in the game world of Eberron, which is usually 5th edition D&D stuff. It's D&D. It's a D&D game setting, but I'm playing Pathfinder 2 in it. And there are mind flayers in Eberron. And so, but there are not mind flayers in the Pathfinder 2 rule system for reasons, because they can't make mind flayers in a different system because it's one of those monsters that Wizards clings to, you know, has like hard IP around. So I made my own version of a mind flayer for my Pathfinder 2 game, and I think these were the first Pathfinder 2 custom monsters that I personally made. We have a couple other people that do they do all of our monster conversions. Like, when we write for Lair magazine and then we convert everything from 5th edition to Pathfinder 2, we have 2 guys that are like gurus on Pathfinder 2 and D&D 5th edition for that matter, and do all of our conversions for us. And so they do all those. So I don't do those. Zach doesn't. Zach used to do those, but now we pay a couple other people to do them instead. But anyway, these are the first ones that I personally made, and they might not be that well made. And if you're really good at Pathfinder 2, you're probably glancing at this and being like, Luke, you screw crap up, and that's fair. But I enjoyed doing it, and I think they were pretty cool. And we had a really cool battle with these. We had a like epic boss fight at the very end, because the Erythrocamp Psionicist is just like the standard run-of-the-mill Mind Flayer, and then the other guy, let me find the Overseer. The Overseer is like the boss Mind Flayer, and so we had one of these Overseers right here, and then there were 4 of these guys, if I remember correctly. And so it was, and I think they're level 6 now. There's 6 of them in the group though. There's a lot of them, a lot of players. But it was a crazy beast of a fight. It was really rough. And one of the reasons this fight, these guys actually have very low armor class and very few hit points for their level. Okay, like most level 5 monsters are going to have better armor class and better hit points than that. But one of the reasons it's really hard is these guys, one of the big things that these guys do is they have like an action economy denial. So they stun you. They have all of these things that stun you and take away your actions. So we had players that could only take 1 action per turn, or maybe 2 actions per turn, but they were constantly getting the Mind Blast on them. They would take away actions and stuff. So that made it pretty nasty. We had 1 character death. Only 1 person died though. It was a brutal battle. But 1 person did get his brains devoured, and that's the brain feast right here. So, but it was a fun fight. It was super fun. And probably because that fight was super fun is probably why I like these monsters, just because I have good memories of that fight. Now I will say, my first iteration of these monsters, they were way too weak. I first put these in the game and they weren't cutting it. I had to beef them up a little bit. I still stayed within the parameters of like Pathfinder 2 design rules, unless I made a mistake somewhere, which is entirely possible. But I just beefed them up a little bit while still staying within the swim lane, and then they got beefier. So anyway, these were fun. These were super fun monsters right here. And then I will be giving these to my patrons at some point. So one of the things that I do for my Patreon is I share my Game Master notes and different things that I make with my patrons. So like right now I'm running Shadow Dark games, and I have a Shadow Dark adventure written, and once I finish running that adventure, I will put it on my Patreon for my patrons. The $25 tier and above gets access to all of my Dungeon Master notes. So for all the games that I've run, like my Sword Coast Guard games, my current Pathfinder 2 game, Thieves Abound, all of my adventures and notes and everything go over there. So when I say you get my notes, let me show you what my notes look like, because you're gonna be like, well, I've seen Game Master notes before, or I know my Game Master notes, and they suck. Let me show you what my Game Master notes look like, because you'd be like, patrons get stuff that's like serious, hardcore. Like you could run this at your game table with like little actual work needed. So I'm gonna, as soon as this loads and pulls up, I'll show you this. So this is what my Game Master notes look like when I prepare for adventure, right? Like every single area has read aloud text. I have read aloud text for every area. It's like, I write this stuff like I'm writing an adventure. We could almost practically publish this crap. Like, so my game, this is what, when I say you're getting my Game Master notes, when you become a patron, like this is what I'm talking about. Like it's a ready to run adventure. This is for Shadow Dark, by the way. This adventure is for Shadow Dark, for what it's worth. So, and this one's not available yet because I'm still running this one. I'm still running that adventure for some folks, so I'm not gonna make it available until I'm like done running it and stuff. But anyway, I don't know why. Anyway, patrons get this crap if you're interested in that. By the way, we have a giveaway going on too. Which our giveaway, if we can get a link from moderators down in the giveaway or down in the chat, we're gonna draw the winner. It's free to enter the giveaway,
And then at the end of the live stream today, we will draw a winner of the giveaway, and they will get 3 months membership to the DM Lair Patreon. So you'll get Lair magazine and map packs and a whole bunch of cool crap. So join the Patreon, and we'll draw the winner at the end of the live stream. So, and I'm gonna, if you have questions, drop them. If you dropped a question and I did not answer it, drop it again. I will answer it. Feel free to put it again if I skipped it over. HC Magic, thank you for the super chat. Have you played DC20? I've played DC20 3 or 4 times with Dungeon Coach, with Alan. He's been the game master for all the times that I played it. So yes, I have played it. What are your thoughts on the game system? So DC20 is made for, the game system lends itself very well to over-the-top heroics. So that I think that encapsulates the feel of the game. If you want to run a game where it's just like over-the-top heroics, superhero, like you have supreme flexibility and you're doing amazing, crazy, cool stuff, that's DC20. That's what it's built for, you know? And would you DM the system yourself? No, and this is why. That's not the style of game that I usually prefer. I prefer more gritty games, like, which is one of the reasons I'm running Shadow Dark. It's one of the reasons I like to run Pathfinder 2. I like Pathfinder 2 as a game master. I'm not super keen on Pathfinder 2 as a player. That's another discussion topic, but I like game mastering Pathfinder 2. I don't like it when I'm a player. Which you could also say that I don't usually like being a player anyway. So there's like I don't like being a player anyway, but there's certain reasons I don't like being a player in Pathfinder 2 too. But I like game mastering Pathfinder 2. It's weird. I think it sounds weird when I say that or something, but it's just kind of how I feel about it. But my preference is for more gritty games. Games where you're not a superhero, games where like you have powers a little bit, but like, dang, you could get your butt kicked, you might die. And so like games like OSR, OSE, Old School Essentials, games like Shadow Dark, games like Dungeon Crawl Classics, those are the types of games that appeal to me the most because you're not a superhero and you might die and it can be challenging and a lot of times you have to use your brain to overcome obstacles as opposed to just looking at your character sheet and being like, oh, I have all these crazy abilities, I can do all of this stuff. So I prefer a little bit more of the old school type of games personally than like superhero over the top stuff. So yeah, that's like my cup of tea right now. So no, I wouldn't game master it myself. And that's just me being honest. Like, I love Alan. He's my friend, you know. I totally support what he does. And I think that his DC20 is a game system that a lot of people absolutely love. It was crazy successful on Kickstarter, you know, and lots of people are going to love playing that game. But everyone has their own personal preferences, you know. And some things just aren't for you, you know. And I know some things aren't for me, you know. And I'm just too honest to, like, you know, lie to you, I suppose. I don't know, but it's a cool game system. Lucky Spade, hello. So I'm brand spanking new to D&D and I'm struggling with role-playing and pacing. Might be newbie nerves, but I want to run Strixhaven in a dual game. From what I read, it depends on backstory and role-playing. Any advice? Well, the whole game's role-playing, right? So the entire game is role-playing, whether you're in combat or whether you're exploring a tomb or you're a tomb. Yeah, a tomb. I get those confused. The pronunciation of them. I know how to spell them. Or whether you're like talking in character, you're, you know, social interaction, the talky bits. The whole game is role-playing. So, but I think what you're saying is that that something like Strixhaven relies a lot on the talky bits, right? I don't know what a dual game is. So I can't touch that. But Strixhaven depends. So I don't have Strixhaven. I don't have it. I've never read it. I don't really know a whole lot of what it's about. I'm conflicted on what I want to tell you because there's part of me that says, hey, if you want to run this module, we'll call Strixhaven a module. I don't know exactly what it is. If it's a setting or an adventure module, I think it's a hodgepodge of both. I think it's kind of like a setting book that has an adventure or some adventures in it. But I think that if you're like, this module, this adventure module is mystery, but I'm not good at mystery, my natural question would be like, then why do you want to run it? Like, if you're not good at it, then why do you want to run it? It's kind of like Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu is a lot of investigation. It's a lot of mystery, a lot of investigation stuff. It's like, that's the game, right? So if you don't like that, then why would you play Call of Cthulhu? You know, like if you just want to roll dice and kill monsters, like Call of Cthulhu is not your game, because you're probably not going to live very long. So part of me is like, if you believe that Strixhaven is a lot of like talky stuff, and that's not your jam, then why are you thinking of running that? What I would do is I would run a game that is your jam. If you're a new game master, I would run something that you feel comfortable running. That's what I would do. Do something you feel comfortable running. If you know that talky is not your thing and you're not good at that, I would not recommend running a game that is going to have a lot of talky in it. I would, especially as a new game master, for now, stick to your strengths, right? Do the things you feel more comfortable with so that you can kind of figure some things out, and then you can kind of push yourself and stretch yourself later once you feel a little bit more comfortable with just running the game, you know. So now maybe you just like the Strixhaven setting, right? And you're like, no, but Luke, I want to run Strixhaven because the game setting is really cool. I love this idea. I think Strixhaven is a wizard school. Somebody told me basically that it's kind of like Harry Potter, and there are actually elements that almost seem like straight, like copy pastes almost from Harry Potter, is what somebody told me. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what they told me. But my understanding is Strixhaven is like a wizard school, kind of like essentially like Harry Potter. And if you really want to run that, but you're not good at talky, well then don't run a talky Strixhaven game. Make the game different, okay? Make it so that I think there are like 4 different like factions in the wizard school, right? I don't know what they're called in Harry Potter because I can't stand Harry Potter. It's just I don't want to get into it. But there are like different factions, and it has nothing to do with like I know the author. Some people don't like the author because of her political beliefs. It has nothing to do with that at all. I just don't like the movies. I've never looked at the books. I just don't like the movies. I think that they're just like I think I always have a problem with movies where you have inexperienced, inept children who are solving the problems. It just it never makes sense to me, and I'm just like, ugh. Anyway, I roll my eyes at movies like that, so I have a personal problem, I suppose. But anyway, if you love the idea of a wizard school and that's the game you want to run, but you're not good at role playing or talky stuff, well then just run a Strixhaven game that's different, right? If you like combat and that's your thing, well then one of those wizards factions, they have taken over the school. They are in charge now, right? And you were on a field trip with another wizard school. This whole faction was on a field trip. And while you were gone, the other faction, the bad guys, what are they called? Slytherins or something like that? They took over the school. Now, the entire school has been taken over. They've used magic to basically turn the other 2 schools into their, like, you know, servants or something. And they have guards and magic. And now you got back from the field trip and you found out that your school got taken over. Now you have to get into the school and stop the Slytherins and take them out, right? And that could be super combat focused. It might be some mystery in there. It might be some investigation, right? Because there could be tons of combat in there. And that could almost turn into like a dungeon crawl type like adventure, you know? So you can take the idea of Strixhaven and you can change it to be the type of game that you want to run, that like is fits in with your desires and your skill sets and stuff. So you can do that, you know. Don't feel that just because Strixhaven was made to be a talky game, that doesn't mean you got to run it that way. You can do whatever you want as a game master, you know. So
I would probably, if you're like, your brain is set on I want Strixhaven, then I would do something like that, because you're just gonna probably have more fun, and it's probably gonna be easier for you than like beating your head against a wall trying to do talkie when you don't like talkie, you know? Strixhaven is another one of those MTG crossover settings made into a module with a bunch of mini adventures. Yeah. Rachel says, how do you let go of the DM seat in a graceful way? Rachel, why? Can you tell me the ultimate reason of why you would let go of the DM seat, even if you're asking for a friend? Because I think that I'm a straight shooter, so there's always going to be an element of truth in what I tell people. An element of truth. That sounds weird, but so it depends on why you're letting go of the DM seat. Then I'll answer your question. Question: would Tome of Beasts be worth adding to 5th edition? Are you talking about the Tome of Beasts books made by Kobold Press? If you're talking about those are good. I have all of them. I have Creature Codex, Tome of Beasts 1, 2, 3, all over on my bookshelves. And I used to use them in all of my 5th edition games. Right now, I only run one 5th edition game, and we are running Escape from the Fae right now, which is a module that I wrote. And so I'm not using Tome of Beasts stuff anymore. But they're very good monsters. So yeah, they're definitely worth adding. I would support that. Rachel says, I've been running 2 years straight and I'm burned out on writing homebrew. I need a break, more than a week or 2. There you go. That's how you do it gracefully. Like, I would just be like, my next game session, I'd be like, hey guys, I have a problem. I'm burned out and I need a break. Now, I still like being a game master, but I'm totally burned out. I need a bigger break. I need like a few months off, you know, so that I can like kind of regenerate and then get back in the saddle and go. And I'm just being honest with you guys, you know, and I don't want the game to stop. I still want to play. You guys are awesome. I love my friends, you know, and I still want to hang out with you guys. And I feel really bad because, you know, I'm the game master and stuff, but would it be possible, you know, for the next few months, maybe somebody else is a game master and you guys do some one-shots? Maybe like Jim can do a one-shot and Sam can do a one-shot and then Jenny can do a one-shot, you know, and then that'll get us through a few months. Each of you does a one-shot. We can keep on playing, and then when I'm ready to go again, we can start my campaign up again or something, you know, and that'll give you a break. You'll get to play. You won't have to prep, and then you start going again. I think that is like, yeah, you're cool being a player for a while. Yeah, because being a player is a big break. Like, and this is exactly what I did too. When I transitioned from my, I was running Curse of Strahd for my in-person players, right? We play at this table right there. I was running Curse of Strahd, and then after Curse of Strahd finished, I told my players, guys, I want a break. I need to get my next. Well, there were 2 reasons I wanted a break. One, we were transitioning from D&D 5th edition over to Pathfinder 2. And so like I need to dig into these rules a little bit better so that I'm ready to run this game for you in Pathfinder 2. That's the first thing. And the second thing is we were starting a new campaign, and so like I need to prepare my campaign a little bit, you know. And so what we did essentially is every single player ran a one-shot. And their one-shots took like 2 or 3 game sessions, but they each ran a one-shot. And what they did that I thought was super cool is that each of the players ran a one-shot in a different game system. So one of them ran a one-shot in, what is that called? Oh gosh, what is the name of that game system? It's on the tip of my tongue, man. It's on the tip of my tongue. Geez, it's known to be very complex and have tons of tables that you roll on. Like, tons and tons of tables for everything. Oh man, somebody put it in chat. My brain is broken right now. So, no, that's not it. It was originally made as a joke,
The very first edition of this game was made as a joke. It was a joke game, and then by the third or something, there was a game. It wasn't DCC. It wasn't GURPS. I don't know what Hero is. Cyberpunk. It wasn't Shadowrun. Nope. It's known. Okay, Combat. No, Combat. So when you Hackmaster, thank you, Mark Dillard. Woo, Hackmaster. Okay, thank you. There we go. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, what is the name of that game? So one of my friends, Alex, ran Hackmaster. Kevin ran Savage Worlds, but it was the superhero version of it. He ran it as supers. And then let's see, who else do I have? Trevor ran Pathfinder 2. He did a Pathfinder 2 game for us. And then I had other players. Who are my other players that ran one shots? I'm trying to remember who was all sitting there. Who else is in my gaming group? Well, I have new players that weren't there at the time. There's one person. There's one person that I'm forgetting about. Joe ran Shadowrun. He ran a Shadowrun game for us. And so each of them ran a different game in a different system that I hadn't played before. I hadn't played any of those game systems before. And I thought that was really cool to see the different game systems. And then that equated to about 3 months or so that I was not a game master and I was just a player. And it felt pretty good because I didn't have to do any prep work at all. Oh man, that was amazing. Whoo! Just kind of like loosey-goosey, just show up and play a game. I have more fun as a game master, but it is more work. That's just the way it is. Anyway, that's how I would do it. I would just, tell your players you need a break. Yeah, Hackmaster is pretty complex. Bobby says, which system do you use for sound during your game? I've heard of Tabletop Audio and Describe, but I haven't had a chance to explore their pros and cons. So I use Tabletop Audio. It's completely free. And this is what I do. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I do. So for Tabletop Audio, what I'll do for a game, and I can play this. I talked to the guy who runs this, and I have like an agreement with him. And that I pay him basically so that I can use his music in my like videos and crap if I want to. The reason I worked that out is that I play Tabletop Audio during my Pathfinder 2 games, which go online on my YouTube channel. So I wanted to make sure I wouldn't have any copyright problems with it. So anyway, but this is what I use during my Pathfinder 2 games, and literally what I do is I'm going to mute this tab. I'm going to mute the site. There we go. So that this won't actually play. But what I'll do is I'll just go through here and I'll just filter for fantasy. And then I will add to the player. I don't want this one. I like that one. Spectral Abbey, I'll add that one. This one sounds cool. Fire Dance sounds cool. Sisterhood, meh. Magical Flora, meh. Ghost Ship, Maddening Crowd, that one's cool. Counting House, Hidden Passage, oh, that sounds cool. I'll just go through and I'll literally just pick a whole bunch of these out, and then there's a player up here that has them all added to it, right? And then I make sure there's a button here to loop it. I have it looped, and then I just push play. Okay? And then I don't manage my sound beyond that. That's it. I pick out like 20 different things maybe, and then I just have it looping as I'm playing Pathfinder 2 back at that table, and I get it loud enough that people can kind of hear it, but it doesn't like drown out our voices, obviously. And that's all I do. I just have some fantasy music playing in the background as we play our games. You can go the step above that. I'm gonna unmute this. Oh, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna unmute this site because I'll forget. The next time I go to use this, I'll forget that I muted it, and then I won't be able to figure out why it's not working. And then I'll have a meltdown. So there you go. So there are game masters that will do something like manage the exact sounds that they want to use. So now Describe has a lot of stuff you can do. Hold on, how do you spell this? I can never spell this. Describe. Describe. There we go. So they have, let me log in. Stand by. You must fill out the math quiz correctly. Oh, that's why you won't let me log in? All right. Okay, now I'm logged in. All right, so they have, if you go to their audio thing, yeah, I don't want a free trial for this thing. I should be able to use this. I'm pretty sure they had given me full access to everything at one point. So maybe I can't show you how this works. Start your free trial. Come on, buddy. Their audio player is called Opus. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, I guess I can't show you how this works. I thought I could come in here and just show you how it works. Get started, maybe. Nope, they're gonna, no, I'm getting paywalled. So, at one point they had given me full access to everything. Because I would do sponsorship videos for them and stuff. So, but it looks like I don't have access to it. So, I guess I can't show you how this works. But you can play music and sound effects and stuff in it. I guess that's all I can say. That's all I know. So, but it is an option. It looks like you got to pay for it. How much is it? How much is it? Yeah, so these are the prices. And it allows you to, like, if you really want to get detailed and plan out the exact music you want to play at certain times during your game, which a lot of game masters love doing that, then this is probably a superior option because they have, I can't show it to you, it'd be great if I could show it to you, but they have a, does this work? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Good gravy. This is the weirdest functionality. So I'm like literally clicking audio, trying to get into it. Nothing's working, not working. And then it's over here. It's a different menu. You click the Opus beta and then I got into the player. Okay, so this, I haven't used this a whole lot. I've just poked around a little bit. Because like I said, they have sponsored some stuff, so I have to like be able to talk intelligently kind of about what the product is, but you can organize your different playlists and stuff. You can find the music you want and you can use all of these different things to like organize stuff. So, and you can create collections, you can create playlists, so if you have like a certain dungeon you want certain music for, you can organize it into playlists, you can get the sound effects you want, and all that kind of stuff. So, but this right here is, if you want to get really granular, this is the way to go. Just kind of get this stuff all queued up and organized for like amazing music. If you're more like me and you just want like, you just want to be able to make a playlist and just have it play in the background because that's what you do, then tabletop audio, free, easy to do. They got a player. They have a player, you can loop it and all that kind of crap. And they have tons of cool, good music. So I think my recommendation really depends upon like what your style is as a game master. Obviously you need to have a budget if you're going to do this one because you have to pay a certain amount per month or whatever for it. But yeah, those are your two options for music. What was the question? Did I answer the question? I think I did. I think I probably did. All right, let's go back over here. Whee! You are very welcome, dude. It's well, if you're saying thank you, it means I answered your question. It's like I read a question and I just start talking for a while, and then at the end I'm like, wait a second, did I answer the question? It's interesting because this is what politicians do, right? Like they get asked a question and then they'll be like, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked about that. By the way, anytime this is just has nothing to do with politics, but just in general, whenever you ask someone a question and you get the response, a smiling face that says, that's a great question, I'm glad you asked about that,
anytime somebody says you that, get ready, because they're about to feed you a whole load of horse crap. A whole load of horse crap. Also, the nervous giggle, you know. Oh, that's a great question. Let's talk about that. Whenever you get this like nervous giggle, yeah, you're about ready to get fed a whole bunch of horse crap. Or they're gonna answer the question without answering the question, or they're just gonna like pivot to a talking point or something. So anyway, you asked a question and I just started talking about something, and then I didn't remember if I answered the question or not. So for a moment there, I was like, geez, that's kind of like what politicians do almost. I'm not a politician, am I? Yeah. I don't think I would survive as a politician. I'm like too honest and blunt and to the point. Like the people would ask me like, what do you feel about this? And I would tell them what I feel about it. And they'd be like, ooh, you were supposed to dodge that question. What do you mean I'm supposed to dodge the question? Yeah, you don't really want to tell people what you feel about this because it's going to alienate it'll alienate 30% of Americans. Therefore, you should be very nebulous about that. Like, you know, oh yeah, we're going to fix this problem. You got to be more nebulous and vague about things, you know. You got to do that. You can't actually give a concrete answer because then that's a problem. It's a problem, man. So anyway, I don't know. I think I'd be a very bad politician. Okay, questions. Yes, questions. Wee. Agile Monk says, never be a politician. Glad Cleric says, you'd be really bad at politics, Luke. You don't lie or make crap up nearly enough. Yeah, I make crap up sometimes, but not a whole lot. But I am a game master though. I technically am a professional liar. Like I literally am lying and acting and deceiving all the time when I'm running games. So you got to give me a little bit of credit, right? Dordiub says, lately I feel like I'm railroading my players. I give them several plot hooks and clues and they bite them all, but feel their main choice boils down to which quest to do first. Any advice? That's not railroading at all. You're not railroading them. You're doing the opposite of like. If you're giving multiple plot hooks and you're allowing them to choose whatever they want to do, that's not railroading. You can also, the other way to think of railroading too is if there's only, once they pick an adventure to go on, there's only one way to overcome the challenges in that adventure. That's railroading too. That's another way that you can view railroading as well. But by what you just said, that's not railroading anywhere close to it. You're running like, it's not a sandbox exactly. You know, it's not a free form sandbox where they can just wander anywhere and do anything. You're giving them options, you know, so you're somewhere. I wouldn't call it a sandbox, but it's not a railroad. It's not a linear adventure. You're giving them options and stuff, and like you feel like their main choice boils down to which quest to do first. Yeah, that is their choice. You're accurate in feeling that way because that's true. That is their main question. What are my cats doing? Running around. You need to calm down. She's just going nuts over there. Your sister's going nuts. I don't know. She's crazy. That's right. I don't see what the problem is though, Dordio. I don't see the problem at all. Like that's how I run my games too. I give my players multiple plot hooks, multiple options of what they could do, and then I let them choose. They can go do the thing that they feel most inclined to do. They can do the thing that they feel most interested in doing, or they can do the thing that they feel is most urgent and most important to do, you know, and I think that's great. I think they get to choose what they go do. And I don't know how else, like, I don't know. I guess I'm not understanding why you feel that might be railroading them. I don't get it. I guess I'm kind of confused. So if you could help me make that connection of why it might be railroading, or yeah, that would probably be helpful. Have you ever played BECMI? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look this abbreviation up. It looks familiar though. BECMI. Oh my goodness, what is this?
What does it stand for? What is it? Oh, it's the colored boxes? It's the 5 colored boxes? Okay, there we go. Basic, Expert, Companion, Masters, Immortal. Okay, yes, I'm familiar with that. I have 4 of those boxes on my shelf over there. I don't have the... I have the red, the 2 blues, and the black, I believe. I might only have 3 of them. I'm missing 1 or 2 of them. I think I have 4 of them, though. But I might only have 3 of them. Anyway, have I ever played them? Not out of the box. Not out of the box like that. No. I have played a game where they essentially took, my understanding is, if I'm remembering how this person explained it to me properly, they took the game mechanics out of those boxes and they put it into one book so that it was easier to use. And so I believe the answer to your question is yes, I have played it before. I played it once before. I'm pretty sure. Final answer. That took a while. Simple question. That took a while. Oh yeah, I definitely don't have. Okay, now I'm gonna go see what I have. I have 4 of them. There we go. Alright. And I will show you so you know I'm not full of crap. So these are the ones I have. So it is the beige one, the Immortals one. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I don't have the other one. But no, I never played these. These were given to me by one of my friends in high school that I used to play D&D with, and I think everything is here. It might not be though, but there's like inside these. There's like graph paper and stuff, like from when they played the game. Like it has like some of the original things that they drew out when they were playing this game. Old graph paper, and this was children playing this game. You can tell just by these, But yeah, they were probably in middle school or something, But it's still got like their stuff in here. It's got a little flyer. Look at this. Look at this. It's got a flyer for Dragon Magazine. That's cool. Old school flyer. RPGA Network. Interested in role-playing games? Why, yes I am. Thank you. How much does it cost? A 1-year membership is $10. Oh, baby. Look at this. And you can get, if you pay $30, you get a 1-year membership and you get Dragon Magazine. I should make a copy of this and mail it in. Look at this, it's got a mailing address. I wonder what would happen if I mailed this in to that P.O. box in Chicago. What would actually happen? It probably still exists. I could probably make a copy of this and mail it in, and somebody would get it. Oh my gosh. That would be super cool. So, yeah, but it's got the books. It's got the books. I should play this someday. Delayed Blast Fireball. Create normal monsters. These are cool. I love this old school artwork too. I love this old school artwork. It's super sweet. I wonder what's in the other. I wonder what's in the other ones here. These are the Master Rules just had 2 books in them. This is the expert set. The Isle of Dread! Woo! I got the Isle of Dread. Apparently I've not opened these in a long time. I have the Isle of Dread. Oh, wow. Yes. I should stinkin' run this. And then the Expert Rulebook. Wow. This is cool. Old school awesomeness. Hey, excuse me. we're busy here. You need to just calm down. You're not playing this game. I have Dungeon Modules C2, the Ghost Tower of Inverness. This is in really good condition too. I mean, all of these are, because they've just been sitting in these boxes for like decades, because I never used them. This is really cool. Dang. The way they publish these though is so hard to use. Wow. Wow. What is this? Hold on a second. Will you get your face out of here? Come on, give me a break. Yeah, go back there. You can't sit in front of the camera. I have the battle system, red arrow, black shield. This is like in pristine condition too. Holy crap. There's like, well, there's a little bit of the corner, a little tiny bit, but this is like pristine condition. Look at this. The punch cards are completely intact. Oh man, the map inside of it. Dude. Oh, here we go. I don't think I used it. Here's like their player sheets, all their character sheets and stuff. Like, this is how they did there. Oh, this is my friend Dane. Yeah. So, my friend Dane is the one that gave these to me too. This is their character sheets from when they were playing in probably middle school. Yeah. Ooh, the Role Playing Game Association. Hey, we can join. We have another one of these. We can join them. Oh wow! They printed it. This is crazy. This is crazy. Look at this. This is like typewriter, dude. Or a dot matrix printer. One of them made a character sheet. They typed it out with like a typewriter on lined paper to make it easier. This is their character sheet. Oh, that's so cool. Wow. Oh, here's one of the. Oh, we've had this conversation. All right, this is one of the original character sheets. They probably went through all of these and didn't have any more. And they just had to start writing it on lined paper, obviously, you know. So this is probably what some of the original character sheets looked like. So yeah, super cool, super cool. I can just see these guys sitting around with these books in middle school playing, you know, amazing. Now the boxes are beat up, but the books themselves are in really good condition. And these are the normal rules. What is this? Oh, the Ghost of Lion Castle. Look at that. Look at that. The Ghost of... Look at the artwork. That's pretty cool. Oh, look at this. A little fold-out map in it. The artwork. Look at that. Jeez. That is super cool. All right. Well, there you go. That's cool. All right. There we go. You asked a yes or no question and you got like a show and tell or something. Yeah, Dragon Magazine. I used to get Dragon Magazine when I was back in high school. I don't have any issues anymore. I'm sure my mom threw them out. I blame my mom on it. I'm gonna go close my windows really quick because I opened all my windows because it was hot, but now it's kind of winter almost. Uh-huh. I'm not rubbing your belly. One of my cats over there wants me to rub his belly. He's like way over there on the cat tower. HC Magic, thank you for the super chat, dude. They say, thank you for your video on DM resources. I'm digging into the AD&D second edition DM design kit you suggested. Oh yeah, for what? Wait a second. Which video was that? Well, I don't remember. I make a lot of videos, so I don't remember which one. But you're very welcome. I'm happy to help, dude. For a minute there, I thought you were talking about the solo D&D video I made, but that one hasn't come out yet. That one's not coming out until Tuesday, I think, is when it's coming out. Basically, how to play D&D by yourself. Would you ever run a stream game of BECMI, BECMI? How do you say that? Like, there has to be a way to pronounce those letters together that people are commonly accept. The basic expert, something immortal. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like streaming games live. Because when you stream a game live, you're aware of the audience and you don't behave the way you would normally behave in a real game. You're just aware of the audience. It's just the fact. So I don't. It changes gameplay, I guess, in different ways. So I don't know. It's not. I mean, I have done it. I probably would do it. It's just, you know, if I had a really good reason to do it, I could, but I don't know. Let's just say I'm not excited about it. We got snow today in Minnesota. It might be coming your way. Oh, yeah, I'm in Michigan, so it might be. I don't mind snow. Question, on a scale from where we're going, we don't need dice, to jawbreaker level of crunch, where do you prefer to DM? What are some aspects of both that you like or dislike? So, I've now run games that are very rules light and rely on dice very little. And I've played in these games, and then I've ran and played in games that have a high level of crunch. And I can tell you that I am probably now trending more toward less crunch. Like, and that probably wouldn't have been true. That wouldn't have been, if you'd asked me this 6 months ago, it would not have been true. A year ago would not have been true. But now that I've been exposed to a lot more games, I feel myself having more fun in games that are less crunchy. So games like Pirate Borg, or games like Mothership, or games like Shadow Dark. Games like that have much less crunch to them. The rules are very simple, lightweight rule sets. I find myself having more fun in those games. I find as a player, like, there's one of the things that tends to define those games is that what you choose to do and say influences what happens, the narrative, let's say, to a great degree. The dice always play a role, obviously, but you can just do certain things or say certain things and it has a specific impact, you know. Whereas in the crunchier games, the dice have a lot more to say, usually. But also, the other thing that I find happening in a crunchy game, like 5th edition D&D is a rules-heavy game. Pathfinder 2 is even more rules-heavy. So, but in games like that, what you find happening is a player, instead of just saying, oh my gosh, there's a trap on this door, let's figure out how to get by this trap. In a rules-heavy game, you look at the rogue and you're like, dude, disarm the trap. Or whoever happens to have, like, you know, is trained in thievery or trained in thieves' tools. You look at that person and like, dude, go over there and take care of that trap. and they walk over and they make a dice roll, and they either disarm it or they don't disarm it. Maybe they set it off or something. Who knows? But that's it. It's just roll the dice and there it is. But when you don't have that, right, and nobody is like proficient or trained in thievery or thieves tools, what happened to one of my Shadow Dark games? I ran Shadow Dark at GameholeCon like a couple weeks ago, and one of the groups that I ran the game for, there were traps around a door jamb. There were little tiny holes that shot darts out, right? And the players saw this and they're like, oh, geez, there's a trap on this door. And this is what they did. This was using Shadow Dark, right? Nobody's trained in thievery. There was no thief in the group. They basically were just like, okay, we have shields. All of us are gonna stand directly in front of the door, and we're gonna put our shields up, and we're gonna angle the shields so that when the trap goes off, the darts hit the shields at an angle and then ricochet off the shields, right? And that's what they did. And that I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And I just decided that it was going to work. There was no dice roll needed. They had a good idea, they implemented it, and it worked, right? And then trap went off, the darts ricocheted, there it is. It did happen that it was a double trap, and there was also some fire that came out the wall behind them, and so they had to deal with that. But that was something that was really cool. If I had run that same trap in a D&D 5th edition game or a Pathfinder 2 game, what would have happened is they would look and they would start looking at their character sheets and be like, okay, who can disarm traps? Who knows how to disarm traps? And that's what the question would have been. And if nobody could disarm traps, then they probably would have, they might have started at that point. If nobody could disarm traps, they would have started to think, okay, how can we bypass this trap? Because nobody has the skills to actually disarm it, you know? And so I'm waiting for my computer to unfreeze. What I like, this is one of the things I like about these rules light games like Shadow Dark and Pirate Borg and Mothership and stuff like that, is that people don't look at their character sheets to define what they can do. They use these to define what they can do, and they come up with stuff that's cool. And it's not that you can't use this in a rules heavy game, but you tend to see everybody looking at their character sheets first and then using this. And I like the other way. And I also think that it's a little bit interesting. It's interesting to run Shadow Dark because not everything's super balanced. Some things are really unbalanced, and they get nasty stuff, and it can be very bad. And the players know that can happen, and so they are a little bit more cautious. I don't know. There's something, and that's just me, how I run that game, I suppose, you know. But I don't know. Anyway, I answered your question. I'm trending more toward rules light games, as opposed to rules heavy games right now. Any advice on balance? Oh, by the way, we have a giveaway going on, guys. We'll see if we can get there's a link in the chat. If you scroll up a little bit, there's a link in the chat where you can join the giveaway. We're gonna draw the winner to the giveaway in about 5 or so minutes. So this is your last chance to join the giveaway. The winner of the giveaway is going to get a 3-month subscription to the DM Lair Patreon, where you can get 5th edition and Pathfinder 2 adventures for your games, traps, puzzles, a whole bunch of different resources that you can use in your games. So just join the giveaway, it's free, and then I'll draw the winner, and then the winner will get some cool crap to use in their games. So go ahead and do that if you want, you know. Do you see yourself moving to Shadow Dark instead of Pathfinder at some point? Yeah, absolutely. I've already told my players. I told them, I was like, we're in the middle of our Pathfinder 2 campaign. It'll be like a year or longer before we finish it. But I told them, once we finish this campaign, I'm going to run a different game system. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Shadow Dark because I'm already running a Shadow Dark. Well, it's a one shot right now, but I'm planning on turning it into a campaign. It might not be for the same players, but I will once. I think I might run. I'm running a one shot of one dungeon right now. I think I'm probably once that's finished, I might run another one shot. But then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to just run a campaign in Shadow Dark. I'm going to turn it into a campaign. So the thing is, that's online. If I'm running a Shadow Dark campaign online, then I might not want to also run one in person because running one game is probably going to scratch that itch for me. So I think more than likely, I'm almost thinking that I might start Call of Cthulhu. My in-person players for Pathfinder 2, I might pitch to them the idea of me running Call of Cthulhu for them. For a while. Could be a year or two, I don't know. But I'm probably now Call of Cthulhu. I've only ever played Call of Cthulhu, and I have the starter set, but I haven't actually looked at it. So I don't know where it falls on rules heavy to rules light, but it seems like a rules light game from my player experience. But it's tons of fun. So I think I'm probably gonna. I need to run Call of Cthulhu. And I feel like my Pathfinder 2 group, they're probably going to be my guinea pigs. The guys, we're going to run Call of Cthulhu, and they're all awesome, and each of them likes a variety of different game systems and stuff. So none of them has their like heart and soul attached to any one game system. So I'm sure they'll be cool with it. But anyway, that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm probably gonna. I gotta scratch the itch of Call of Cthulhu. So that's probably what's going to happen. But it's not going to be Pathfinder 2 forever. It's going to once that campaign finishes out, we'll change something else. I'm like 99.9% certain that that's what's going to happen. HC Magic, thank you for the $5 super chat. Speed up D&D game prep with these must-have tools. Oh, okay. Yep, I remember that one. Cool. Thank you. I have so many videos, I can't keep track of them all. Sir Vic, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Mage's Musing says, the OSE BX BCMI for the win, my friend. I have noticed you have those box sets on your shelf. Use them. Come to the light side. Yeah, they're right here, man. I was looking at them. There was a bit of nostalgia there. Yeah. Agilwong, thank you for the super chat, dude. I appreciate that, man. What about DC-20, Nimble 5e, or Tales of the Valiant as a new gamer to run? So I've played DC-20 about 4 times with Alan of the Dungeon Coach. But I haven't really looked at the rules. I have the PDF, like he gives me everything, but I haven't really looked at the rules. So I just don't, you're asking me if what I can recommend for a new gamer. I can tell you it's fun. It's really fun if you like over-the-top heroics. So, but like if I'm gonna recommend something as a new gamer, I'm thinking of something that's super friendly for you to use. You know what I mean? Like easy to learn, and you're not gonna feel frustrated. Like does it take you 2 hours to make a character? Because that's gonna be frustrating. Now, DC-20 doesn't. DC-20 character creation was pretty simple, so I don't think it's that bad. Pathfinder 2 can take a long time to make a character. So I would not recommend Pathfinder 2 to new gamers. Just complete honesty. I wouldn't recommend D&D 5th edition to new gamers because it's super complex too. And the 2024 made character creation even more complex from what I can see without having really dug into the rules yet because I'm too busy to look at that crap right now. So I would look for, if I'm going to recommend a game system to a new gamer, I'm going to recommend something simpler, something more streamlined and rules light. I would recommend, Shadow Dark is rules light. Pyroborg is, but that's not in the fantasy genre. That's like pirates. It's really cool. Pyroborg is amazing, but it's not a fantasy game exactly. I mean, it kind of is, but you're pirates on a ship type of thing, and there are monsters and stuff, but it's not the fantasy genre. It's a little different, but it's super cool. Nimble 5e, I am not familiar with. Tales of the Valiant is almost literally a copy paste of D&D 5th edition 2014. Like if the cover didn't say Tales of the Valiant and you opened it up and start reading it, you would think it's D&D 5th edition. So whatever, and I don't recommend D&D 5th edition for new gamers. I think it's not the best place necessarily to start, which is unfortunate because since it's the most popular game system, it's probably the game system that many people start on. But I don't think that I'd recommend it for new gamers. The only thing is that because it's the most popular, you're gonna have an easier time finding groups for it, which I guess is a reason to play, because if you pick like a niche system that very few people play, then you can't find a group, then you're not playing the game, right? So there is something to be said about a game that a lot of people are playing, because it does make it easier to find a group. But I don't think I'd recommend it for like a new gamer, I guess is what I'm saying. So and the 2024 seems it got more complex, so I would probably recommend it even less for a new gamer. Yeah, Mike Shea, the Lazy Dungeon Master guy. Yeah, he ran a Shadow Art campaign, and he did a video or something where he was talking about it. We used to have a Pathfinder 2 campaign. The GM was struggling to get his custom monsters into Foundry expediently, though. I don't screw with that crap. When I run a game online, I use Foundry. I do not put my monsters in Foundry. Oh my word, are you kidding me? I would beat my head against the wall until my brain broke. That is just nutso. I would never do that, ever. I create my custom homebrew monsters, or use the ones out of the book, and I just have the book in front of me, and then I roll physical dice. It's like, I don't care. I am not going to let the tool stop me from running my game, and I'm not going to let the tool frustrate me when I have a very simple solution. I just roll physical dice. And yeah, all the functionality of all the mechanics and functionality that are inbuilt into Foundry, you're not gonna take advantage of all of those, but I'm not gonna spend half an hour to an hour trying to import custom monsters into Foundry, man. I'm not screwing with that. So yeah, I'm not doing that. I just physical roll dice, boom, you're done. Even for my Shadow Dart game, the monsters are all in Foundry. I could just roll the dice in Foundry for the monster's abilities if I wanted to, but I don't. I roll physical dice because that's what I like doing when I play online. It's faster, it's easier. And I have players that'll be playing the game online and they can't get the dice to work online, or their things don't work. And I'm just kind of and we're all waiting for them, and I'm just thinking, and sometimes I tell them, it depends. But I'm just dude, just roll physical dice. I don't care. Let's just get this game moving. The worst online game is the online game where whether you're in Roll20 or you're in Foundry and you can't get the technology to work and you're just waiting and you're not playing the game because crap won't work. Those games suck. Will you stop biting me? There was a stream where I bit him back. And that did not work well for me because I had hair in my mouth. Look at him. He's just coming at me. He's a bully. Look at him. He's trying to bite me. He's a bully. I'll fluff your bucket. He's just going at me. You're going to get elbowed, little turd. All right. The shiny clicky clacks are nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, I know you don't, Matthew. You don't have your character in Foundry. I know.
It's fine. I don't care. It works, man. We play the game. That's all that matters. You don't need all that crap. You wants the treats? Yeah, you big turd. You fatty. All right, let's do the giveaway. Let me get the winner for the giveaway. Where is this crap? Here we go. Drawing the winners for the giveaway. Draw a winner. All right, here we go. Drawing the winner. Wee! Dordiub! Hey, Dordiub! I know I'm saying your name wrong. I know you were in the live stream before, but you won, dude. Dordiub, you won, buddy. I'm gonna send you an email. We're gonna get you hooked up. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am leaving. We are done. You all have yourselves a wonderful evening. And then I'll see you next week. Now, next week, stop biting me. Next week, we're going to be streaming on... Next week, we're going to be streaming on Friday because my wife and I are going to a charity event on Thursday. We have this, so I give money to a bunch of different charities, and one of them is a humane society for like cats and dogs and stuff. And every year they have this like special formal dinner, and we get dressed up for it and go and eat appetizers and stuff. So it costs us like $100 each to go to it, because we're donating to charity. It's like a charity thing, So anyway, I'm gonna be there next Thursday, so I'm not gonna be here, but we'll have our stream on Friday. All right, I'm done. We're leaving. All right, I'm gonna go beat the crap out of this cat because he's bitten me the whole stream. I'm not really gonna do that. Oh my gosh. Somebody's gonna think I'm serious and they're gonna get upset. I love Squeaky. I'm not gonna hurt him. All right, I'm leaving now before I say something else really stupid. Where's my button? Where's my button? Whee!